What's up, y'all? This is Lab to Lights. It starts in the lab podcast, where we bring you coaches, players, trainers, and people at the top of their game within the basketball world, giving you tips on how to be better in the lab and bring that into the game. Make sure you like and subscribe. Today we have assistant coach from Wilmington University, Delorian Heard. How you doing today, Delorian?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I'm great. Let everybody know how you guys finished out. It's March Madness now. Let everybody know how you guys finished out the season.
We had a pretty solid season. We had a core group that had been with us for 3 to 4 years. It was a great run. You know how tough COVID was, and those guys really persevered. We ended up making it to the first round of the playoffs, a record of 15-12. Had a couple of hiccups in the road, but I call those growing pains. We're definitely prepared and ready going into the playoffs. Just unfortunately, a whistle with 5 seconds left changed the outcome of the game. But that's as we get into March Madness, that's what it's about. It could come down to one possession, but the goal is to not put yourself in those possessions. So that was definitely a lesson learned for my team. But like I said, we're on the outside looking in and just looking to rebuild.
Awesome, awesome. Now, uh, like I said, part of our podcast is talking about what's done in the lab. Now, you say the COVID year with your players. What did that look like for you guys from a workout standpoint? I know from a game there was no crowd and it was just the guys that was on the court. But what was that adjustment you guys made? Was it four guys, at practice at a time? Was it the whole team? What did that look like for you guys?
So this is a interesting story. So COVID happened. It was right after the 19 and 20 season was wrapping up. We had actually made it to the Final Four that year of our conference tournament. Ended up losing the Final Four, and then like the next week after exit meetings and things of that nature, everything shut down. So for
Wow.
me, I was blessed with the opportunity to go coach with Billy Gillespie at Tarleton State, which is Division I in the Western Athletic Conference. And that was a great experience for me. My choice in leaving was one, I talked it over with my coach. He wanted me to go in and garnish that experience. That's a once chance in a lifetime experience, once in a lifetime experience. And I really wanted to, that was the goal for me. So in our conference in the CACC, they chose to not play at all. So that kind of put the nail in the coffin as far as what my final decision was going to be. Now,
Right.
at the Division I level, we did have practices and we did have games with limited attendance. I was in Texas. Texas is a little different, where they were kind of bucking the system, if you will.
Yeah.
But we did mask up. Players had to have masks on. Coaches had to have gloves on during those practices and those interactions. So it was quite different. We did the staggered seating. So all the
Mhm.
bench, they weren't in a row. It was staggered. That was quite interesting as well. It was a challenge, but I think that the NCAA as a whole did a great job of piecing that together, given said circumstances.
Right, right. Kept all of us entertained, and what's the world without basketball? Going right. We got
Right.
we got to see some hoops. Got to play some hoops. So, what was that transition like for you, going from Texas, and now you're equipped with all this experience and knowledge? You take it to Wilmington. What's your approach now? Are you diving up more so into the player experience side, or is it more so the offensive defensive strategy side? What does it look like for you going to Wilmington?
Coming back to Wilmington, it was really nurturing these players' talents, both on the court and off the court. So many times
Mm,
coaches could get lost in the execution of things, and you make your players feel like an X or an O in their playbook and don't
mhm.
really dive in deep to the players. Mental health is a big thing going on right now. It's a big topic. We definitely were on the forefront of that. Even in 2019-2020 season, coach implemented a 3-day, if you need to take a mental health break, rule. So there's 3 days throughout the season. If you just, no matter what the circumstances is, you can take that day, said day, and just let us know and you're excused. Because as we know, things happen in life that are bigger than basketball. Maybe a family issue, be it a death of someone, or just simply, needing to go and handle some business, that your family needs you to do. We want you to be able to do that, or sometimes just need to disengage because this game takes a whole lot out of you mentally and physically. So that's whole, we give you an outlet to be able to just keep to oneself and, bag away without distracting the team.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Awesome, man. Awesome. So with quick transition with the player's standpoint, like you said, like the mental health aspect. When we were in high school, it was a lot different for us as players from high school all the way to the pros because we didn't have 4, 5, 6 social media platforms to showcase our game, showcase our personality for people to like. As a coach and as a player from 10, 15 years ago, what are some of the biggest changes and challenges that you see the players have with that social media aspect?
First off, you just wow. 10,
I didn't
15
mean to
years
age you.
ago,
I'm
and you was
sorry.
my teammate. Now I'm feeling old, like, whoa, we getting a little long in the tooth, brother.
Sorry, my bad. My bad.
Yeah, but the biggest difference between now and then is definitely the physicality of the game.
Is that more
Now
physical or less physical?
it's less physical. When we played, it was you could hand check a little bit. It was a little bit more violent. People think basketball, looks are deceiving. When those guys, when we're coming off the screens and you're down there in that paint, there's a lot of hitting going on, and we don't have no pads on. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's definitely that has changed. But as far as kids' knowledge of the game and their access to training and proper coaching, I think that has expanded so much and it's been to the benefit of our game. So that's those two are the two biggest differences. And then third, I would say kids are more prepared academically. As crazy as it may seem, I don't really run into a lot of academic issues like there were before. And I think a lot of that has to do with what happened during COVID, because a lot of kids are now taking classes, even though they're physically in school, they're doing modules while in class. So they're already in the college scale as far as doing classwork through their computers, their laptops. So that's making for an easier transition. And for our school, we have both options, but our gym and our main campus happen to be 10 minutes away, driving wise. Right. Our players stay in apartments, which are right across the street from the gym. That makes it way more easier if you can just go ahead and knock out some online classes. And we also have trimesters. So the first 7-8 weeks, if you're taking 15 credits, you could go ahead and take 2 to 3 classes, and it splits it up. So that way, when you're in the season, it's kind of like being a pro. You don't have that many classes. Then once, there's dead period over Christmas break, you have a whole month where you're not even taking any classes. So that's one of the benefits definitely at my university. But I definitely will say both on the floor and off the floor, the kids' IQ are a lot higher. And I think that's just has a lot to do with the access that they have.
Awesome. So back to the social media aspect that the kids have. If I'm a kid in high school right now, I'm trying to get to a college, and I'm reaching out to coaches via Twitter, via Instagram, TikTok, whatever platform. If I'm reaching out to you and I send you my highlight tape in a DM? You know, are you opening that and watching it? Are you sending that to somebody else? What does that look like for coaches that get all of those highlights sent to their DMs and their comments and stuff?
Yes, I am. So please follow me on Instagram, Coach_Herd, and please send as much as you would like. We definitely use social media as a main platform. A lot of people. Twitter has been great. Twitter has
Mm,
been super great, because you also have those who do write-ups and do rankings, and it just makes it credible. So I would say reach out to them as well, because that just gives you another platform besides just using yourself to still showcase you. And there are so many
right.
people in this game of basketball behind the scenes who just want to push, kids out there, and so I would say take advantage of that 150%. And there's no such thing as bugging a coach. You can never send too much film, you can never send too much information. If anything, we applaud it, because that's what you're looking for. You
Mhm.
want a player who wants to play for you and wants to be a part of your program. For me, recruiting wise, it's a turnoff if I always have to chase you down. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like, I'm going to call, I'm going to check in with you, but the phone works two ways. We're trying to, because once again, I try to learn each player that I'm recruiting, learn the
Mhm.
ins and outs. It's not always basketball. When I get
Right.
on the phone with them, it's how was your day? Learn about their family, their friends, girlfriends, what all you have going
Right.
on in your life. So that way, we are better connected. And with that is give and take too. I share about myself, you know, my
Sure.
experiences, my family, and things that I bring to the table. So that way, once I have you on campus, there's a familiar. You're very familiar and you're comfortable, and it's a family environment, because we all, everybody gets in the huddle, 1, 2, 3 family. I really
Right.
want to embody that. I don't want the fakeness, because that gets you beat. If you are a family and
Sure.
you are tight, it makes you a winner, as you know firsthand as a winner.
Yes, sir. Of course. Of course. Of course. So is that something you guys look at before reaching out to the player? Like if I send you my tape 2, 3 times a month, before you actually contact me, you watch the tape, you like my game, are you looking at my page to see, okay, what is this guy into before we even contact him? Or is it, we can mold him into what we need before he gets into campus?
Well, number one thing is just diving deep, diving deep, and I mean deep. I get every last detail about
Mhm.
you before I even contact you. So yes, I am going to look
Gotcha.
at what you're doing on social media. Are you, posting things that are, vulgar and just inappropriate? How your
Right.
interaction and things are on the day to day, meaning I do call your principal. I do call your head coach. I do talk with the athletic director. So that way I have the information on your background. And before I talk to you, I'm going to talk to your parent. So that way we
Mhm.
have a transparent conversation. I think that might be where some coaches can mess up the situation, because you jump the gun and you go and talk straight to the player and you don't have all the boxes checked. You
Right.
know, um, definitely have to talk to a coach, and definitely have to talk to a parent, bar none. Because at the end of the day, you have to gain their trust as well, because one,
Mhm.
that is the coach's player, and you want to be able to create that relationship, and hopefully that builds to a pipeline.
Right.
And two, with the parent, that's their baby. You know what I mean? I'm 33 years old, I'm still my mom's baby, and as I know you are as well. You know
Yeah.
what I
Right.
mean? So when you're talking about sending a kid across the country, you want them to be familiar and want them to be as comfortable as possible. So building
Right.
those relationships and really not cutting corners when it comes to doing your background research, I think is key.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So for the new coaches, who are you contacting first on that journey? You like, I know you said the coaches, the principal, the parents. Who's the first line of contact? Is it the principal? You get the idea of school he's coming from, then the coach? Like, is it the coach first? Who's the first line of contact?
Typically, I try to talk with the principal or the athletic director, just someone in administration, because what they
Gotcha.
will have is direct access to grades. Not saying that coaches don't, but coaches are also excited that you as a college coach are calling, if that makes sense. You know, everybody
Yeah, yeah.
thinks that the kid is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I understand that. Not saying that, you know, a coach is lying, they're just doing their job to promote their player, you know, but
Right.
you want to get the real ins and outs. One of, you know, and they're typically great for how do they respond to adversity? You know, what is their character like on the day to day, you know,
Mm,
in the grind, in the mix of a season. And, you
right.
know, that is key, definitely. Their body language, all of that. So you can just
Right.
learn if they're coachable. But before I'm going to learn if you're coachable, I need to know what those grades look like.
Of course.
Because if you're not going to be strong academically, there's no way, I don't care how good you are, that I want you to not uphold the title student athlete.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's big. That's big all
Mm-hmm.
around the nation. So, excuse me. So,
Mm-hmm.
switching gears real quick from a coaching standpoint, are when coaches are telling you, okay, my player is great, he never gets a turnover, he averages 30 a game. Um, Obviously you take some of that with a grain of salt, but and obviously the highlight tapes you receive are all the positive.
Mm-hmm.
Is it at what point do you guys ask for a full game tape, or you actually go out and see the kid so you can see his body language, you can see if he's doing the right thing on the court as far as like not getting teched or doing anything dirty? How do you guys approach that?
Well, first we, you know, once you check off the boxes, if you check off all the
Mhm.
boxes, you know, great character, great grades, you know, just a good pillar in the community and representative of the high school. Then it's time to have a meeting with the head coach. So I can only speak from, you know, an assistant's point of view. Once
Mhm.
the head coach has that conversation and he feels comfortable and, you know, they're familiar with one another, then I go out and I'll watch a full game or have a full game sent to me. So that way I can really dive deep into what it is that they're doing. Because the first question that I ask when watching the game for myself is, how does this young man fit into our program? And what can he bring?
Right.
You know, and typically the highlight is helpful in that area because it's what they're good at, right? But then I have to see if this is chopped up over just the full season, or are you consistently
Right.
doing this in the games? So it takes about 2 to 3 games. I try to see a player at least 3 times, 3 full games, so I can really have a genuine idea. And I'm looking for more than just production on the court. Is he going to run off when he's subbed out? How is he on the bench? You know, is he mobile
Mm.
if things are going bad? Does he know to adjust and attack the paint so he can get to the line because the jump shot isn't falling? Or if there's a loose ball, is he going to dive on the floor, or is he going to try to just bend over and get it, which can cause injury and,
Yeah.
you know, a turnover, you know? So, you know, those little intangibles are what I'm looking for. And the number one thing is he talking? These kids nowadays, so much on social media, that I would say that's the downfall. They don't want to talk on defense. Whereas when me and you played, we talked all the time. We
Yeah.
just had to be connected. But I think that comes with, once again, the changing of the times. It's not as physical, so you're not about to get blown up crazy on the screen and all of that, because nobody wants to get
Yeah.
hit anyway. But
Right.
you know, when you getting hit, you get hit one good
Yeah.
time, you'll learn to talk. And typically for my freshmen, it's always fun to see that happen, because that's
Oh
how
yeah.
it starts. So those freshmen come in
Yes,
quiet, they
sir.
looking at everybody else like they're crazy, like, oh, you doing too much. Why you in here talking, saying that you're in help side, saying that you're on ball, you got rim? It's like, no, all of this makes sense. If you are all communicating with one another, we are always connected. And they don't even understand, a team that talks, that could be scarier than the actual defense, because they're just like, oh, they're tight, they got it together. You
Yeah.
know, and
They
it
know
just gives
every
off
movement.
a whole different vibe and demeanor. And in college basketball, That's how you're going to win championships. Defense and rebounding wins championships. Offense is always going to sell tickets. That is your draw. But the reason that team is good, that you're going to see, is because they play defense and they go and rebound the ball.
Yeah, that's big. So you said 3 games before you lock in on a player. That's good to know, especially for the kids that aren't the 5-star guys, 4-star guys. So, and like you said, the 3 games, you're looking at body language. You're not so much looking at all right, I know you can score. You sent us a 20-point game, 2-3 times. But then seeing them live, after the 3rd game, are you meeting the player face to face, or is that something you do the first game? Like, hey, I'm gonna come to 2 more games. Do you let them know you're gonna give them 3 games? Like, how does that work?
I never let you know. You won't know I'm in the building. Your head coach will know. Your parents will know. Because I never want a player to be distracted, and I don't want a player to change anything. We all are typically creatures of habit. I don't want you to change anything. I don't want that on your mind, because at the end of the day, your focus should be the game at hand and what you have to do. And I want you to play to your best abilities, and not overdo it, get to overthinking. That could just throw off the whole rhythm for the team,
Right.
So I don't let the player know that I'm coming. I do let the parent and the coach know, and someone in administration know that I'm coming. And then after the game, I will come up and have a conversation with the player. We're only out there when it's live period. So in live period, we can shake hands and talk a little bit. So I definitely do that, so they can be familiar with me in person. And then it's not 3 games in a row. So throughout that season, I'll still check on them after games and things of that nature. Once again, continuing to build that relationship. Maybe by game 3, I'll let you know. But by then you've seen me. You've seen me twice before. I'm in there, and it's just another day.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Right before we wrap it up, what are some of your goals as far as coaching in the future? You see yourself going to the NBA? You want to be that 20, 30-year coach in college? Like, what do you see yourself going in the next 5 to 20 years? It's a big gap.
Man. The ultimate goal for me, college-wise, is to be the head coach at UCLA. Okay. And the reason I want to be the head coach at UCLA is because John Wooden is considered the greatest basketball coach of all time. And they have his name on the floor. And so I've had dreams about it. And my goal is to win enough national championships and to be as great of a coach that they will either have to pull his name up and put my name down, or put my name beside his name. And it's also California. It has an appeal, and for me, I just think they set the standard. A lot of people talk about Kentucky, and they've had great runs, but to me, what John Wooden did at UCLA is and forever will be the standard of what college basketball is.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, let everybody know where they can find you on social media. You already gave them the invitation to flood you with highlight tapes and messages. So let everybody know.
Well, you can find me at Coach_Herd on Instagram, and you can find me at Delorian Herd on X. So please feel free to reach out, send your information. I definitely will be in touch, and please be on the lookout for Wilmington University men's basketball. We have a great program. We play in a great league. We offer a lot of great resources when it comes academically, and we have a good time. So, hopefully you guys keep a lookout for us, and we can have a major year next year.
Awesome, man. Thanks for joining us, Coach Herd. You guys don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you again.
Thanks.